I would like to start by saying I will never top the previous one, so great moon. Yeah, welcome. From the day I was a little kid, I always felt the need and the urge to make a difference. I was always searching for what do I find important in life. And for me, that always has been happiness, meaning, and love. Love for what I do and love for the people around me. So I was never driven by solely money. So in the beginning of my career, my love for sports drove me to my first study, physical education in Nijmegen. So I was teaching little children, primary school and also high school, my love for sports. And the one thing I learned there was that every kid is unique and everybody has a unique set of skills. So I use that nowadays still. But I couldn't find enough meaning in what I was doing back then. So I thought, if I go into business, I can create a lot more impact. So I started my studies in business economics, and at day one I met Nick Franke, my business partner and a good friend of mine, and I hope we're still good friends, right? Yeah, it's something like married, not married, but we'll leave that out. And when I was studying with Nick, we were always criticizing the business models and the economy in general. So we started our masters in sustainable entrepreneurship. And we were the first group of students who were able to choose that study. And there we learned the principles of people, planet, profit, which you see on the sheet. And what we have to do, we have to create a balance between people, planet, and profit to be able to sustain our world. And what I think is very exciting is that the first time in the history of mankind, we share a common goal, tackling climate change. So let that common goal be the thing that unites us. Because a hurricane or a tsunami will not make a difference between if you're rich or poor, black or white. It's all about creating that balance and creating more equality. So from this belief, we do business nowadays. We use the balance between people, planet, profit, because it was a trigger to come up with the idea we are working now on a daily basis. And I would like to go to the transition we're in at this moment, which was also a subject of Fred, of course. He was speaking about it, and I would like to ask you a question. So I would like you to raise your hands if you think it's mostly a technological transition. So please, everybody raise your hands if you think, okay, just one of us. And if you think it's solely an economical transition, please raise your hands. Okay, I'm happy to see this. And the last one, whom of you thinks it's more of a psychological or a behavioral transition? Right, wow, didn't expect this. We also believe that it's solely or mostly a psychological and a behavioral transition because the earth doesn't care about the people. It will manage to survive. But we as people need to contain and sustain planet Earth to be able to, prosper as a species. So I would like to point out one theory of a woman, Kate Raworth, who inspired me very much. She also did a lot of TED Talks. And it's about the donut economy. And as you can see, the sheet looks kind of like a donut. And I will explain shortly for the people who don't know about her story. You see in the inner ring, those are the primary needs of our people. And in the outer ring, you see the climate and affecting it in the wrong way. So we need to be in the center green part, where there is balance of the resources we have and the way we use them. Also, what Fred was just saying. And I love this theory because it's also the basis of what we do on a daily basis with our business. So when I continue to the part, how did we integrate all this theory and all this belief we have into the business we do? And we created our own HPI, Happiness Performance Indicator. You all know KPIs, right? Key Performance Indicators, which are being used, I think, almost in every business. But we think you should use the HPI, which is based, again, on the balance between people, planet, and profit. And if you look at the people part, all the candidates we speak to, we approach them based on their characteristics, their beliefs, their motivations, their proactiveness, instead of solely study background. Because we believe if you put the right information in a person with the right intentions, the results are much better than somebody who already has the knowledge. but the wrong intentions. And knowledge and information nowadays is everywhere, so you cannot be as unique solely based on what you know. And the planet part, all the projects we do are based on contributing positively to planet Earth. Yeah, that's it actually from the planet part. And profit-wise, we try to do business in a transparent way, asking for fair prices, searching for businesses and municipalities who are also very integral and have the right intentions. So if you work with people and businesses who have the same why as you have as a company, the results will be much better and much higher. So I would like to give you a practical example, also based on the roadmap Next Economy. It's based on 5 transition paths, and one Fred already mentioned is the circular economy. And I would like to tell you one very practical project we did with a lot of municipalities. It's the tree project. So as you can see, a tree can make a difference. What do we mean by that? Every municipality has a certain amount of trees being brought down on a yearly basis. And in this example, we use 10,000 trees. If you use them in a circular way, instead of nowadays creating biomass of it, it's one of the worst ways of creating energy with trees, because you can, as you can see, generate a lot more new products from it. Again, if you look at People, Planet, Profit, with 10,000 trees, you can create 50 to 100 jobs for people with a distance to the labor market, giving a lot of more meaning to the people and society. And also the planet part, instead of burning them and throwing back the CO2 emissions back in the air because it contains the CO2 of your ancestors, you can make a lot more valuable products of it. So you see it rising. And also the profit part. 10,000 trees can deliver 10 to 15 million euros of economical value. And the roadmap Next Economy is also about decentralization. So instead of buying trees from, let's say, China, you can use trees from Rotterdam, crafted by people from Rotterdam, for people in Rotterdam. If that's not local, I don't know what's local anymore. So the HPI grew from 2.7 to 7.7, because everybody gets a lot more happier when you create value for the whole society. So I would like to challenge you guys. Are there people in the room who own a business? Okay, thanks. I challenge you to look critical at your business model. What you're doing, what kind of products are you making? What kind of resources are you using for those products? Do you look at what your colleagues think is important? Do you ask them, are you even happy with what are you doing? Can you do that differently? How is the climate? Do you have a good air circulation, higher desks? Let's say, do you do sports to trigger the mind to be more creative and more active? And if you don't, please try. A practical example, we were working with a company who was in the hygiene sector, and he was producing clothing for people who were working in the slaughterhouses, and they used the clothing just once a day, threw it away at the end. And he was thinking, okay, it's produced in China and India. The labor conditions of the children who were working there were very bad. So he came up with an innovation to produce locally and created that it could be washed for 30 times instead of using it just once. Cut out the zipper so you could create new circular products from it. And it was a family-owned company. So he was triggered by the fact that he wanted to leave a company behind for his daughter, which was still able to flourish. And as you can see, the people part, it grew, the planet part grew, but you see a little drop in the economical part. And that's because of the fact he had to invest. It's a year ago, so at the moment, it dropped a little, but in the future, and that's also sustainability, being able to invest so you can grow in the future. You have to think long-term instead of short-term. Sorry. And then the second part of what can you do if you are employed? I challenge you. For what kind of company are you working for? What is their vision? Is their vision meaning your vision? So is your why the why of the company? Do they invest heavily in tobacco or weapon industry, etc.? And if that's not meeting your vision, I challenge you to change the company if that's possible, by doing a new function or a new job within the company. And if that's not possible, search for a new job. You were just mentioning Milrow. Now, that's a great company where you can work. And their DNA is sustainable in its core. So everything you do there helps drive the new economy. And if you need help, just ask for help. It's not a weakness. People often think if I ask for help, I can't do it myself. But I think nobody can do everything in life him or herself. So yeah, ask for help for people who know more. Practical example. One of our candidates was earning a lot of money for a great corporation, but he couldn't find the meaning. So the people part, the product they made, was very bad for the people, affecting the world in a bad way. So he was able to, or he wanted to lose some of his financial gains in order to make sure that the people on the Plennid part grew. And again, the happiness performance indicator, so the net result also grew. And now he's just much more happy than he was with his previous job, while he was losing 25% of his income. And I would like to end with, I don't know how to do this with the microphone and the zipper, but it's one of my personal slogans. And I got it tattooed on my arm, and it says, "You can," end of story. But especially for today, I would like to rephrase it into, "We can," end of story. You see a picture of me and Nick laughing because we do what we do, if we do what we love every day, and it gives a lot of energy. But I'll invite you guys to join the transition, because we need all the help we can get. So I would like to end with this phrase: let's raise the bar together. Thanks.